dun, 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 dun. Do, do, Ba-bam. All right. Boom. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out there in Monday Internet Land. Life with Lex. Thanks for stopping by. At least even if it's for a short bit, it's always a blast. How is... Ooh, D&D stuffs. Yes. Yeah, I'll be working on campaign prep for the D&D game I run. Hey, Moon Runes. Welcome in. How art thou? How goes your Monday? It was relatively cool here, which was nice. I got a little bit done, but I also am slowly trying to get back into my exercise routine productivity cycle after all the madness, and I'm feeling it a little bit. So it always feels like you're like, oh, I'm a little bit more sore. It's more sore than usual. But I also had to haul gear in and out of SoFi Stadium yesterday, so that might also be why I'm sore. It's good. It went pretty fast. That's good. That's a good sign. Anytime Monday goes fast, that's hopefully the rest of the week is like that. Hey, Ghostly. Well, hello there, Ghostly. How are you? How are you this fine eve? Moonrunes, I feel you. I did something to my neck. Oh, hello, princess. I did something to my neck, and it's been a killer. Yeah, I banged up my ankle on Sunday. There's this big, floor that has, a hydraulic arm that spins this camera, and I banged up I think when I was hauling it back to the loading area, I smacked my ankle and is very bruised and very angry today. So when I went for a jog today, I could definitely feel it. But yes. All right. Hello, princess. Yes, the internet is aware of your existence, and they all love you. Ghostly, I'm running on less than 1 hour of sleep, so I'm not going to be here long. Just screaming into the void. Oh, Ghostly, yes, go get sleep. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I'm. Nope. She just knocked over the mic. All right. I know you're upset, but you gotta chill. Yeah, definitely don't do that. I think I'm still making up sleep from last week and this weekend, so definitely get some rest, Ghostly. But it's always thanks for coming and saying hi. We channel Maximilian right. Thanks, Ghostly. We try. We do our best. Hey, my mustachioed Meister. Thank you. I may not be a Meister by any means, but I do have a mustache. I know. Hello. Oh my God. She was totally chill earlier. I think she knows. She knows something's up because I talk into the mic, and anytime she was completely fine earlier. The moment I start streaming, she gets super, super pissed. Yes, exactly, Lifeless. She has to address her fans. She knows that she's the star of the show for sure. There you go. Are you gonna settle? Okay, there you go. All right, she's settled. Moon, she's feeling extra today. Yeah, she's channeling extra vibes. Just let me know. Let me know she's got shit to say. So, oh boy, how's everybody doing? Ghostly's running on very little sleep, so Ghostly should definitely go get some rest. How you doing, Maya? How's life? How is everything? The writing going? I know you in the painful world of yet another rewrite, but Ghostly, I was going through my random short story doc and randomly found a dark, mysterious fantasy boy. A random short story. Randomly found a dark, mysterious fantasy boy, so sleep can wait. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, all right. Definitely leaning into the dark, mysterious fantasy boy. That just sounds like a Tumblr. or what would have been a Tumblr years ago. I'm good mostly, just trying to get into the 4th draft. Yeah, for sure. Yep. This is the last one, I promise. I hope so, Maya. That's brutal. That is a brutal, particularly like a scratch rewrite is rough. As I'm dealing with that right now on my script, Blue Devils, and that is, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's rough. Sometimes necessary, but it's rough. Which is probably why I'm moving that one back off stream, because nobody wants to watch a bleak story be written in a frustrating way. So it's not a good stream material, I've decided. Moon Runes, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to write tonight. Yes, good. Congrats, Moon Runes. Yes, but only for about an hour since I have work in the morning, for sure. Yep. It's gonna be a short. I'm only gonna do. I think it's only gonna be 4 sprints tonight. So yeah, definitely duck out whenever, because I have to get up early tomorrow as well. So it's gonna be light sprints for the week, I think. Life is still not 100% back to normal, so I've got to like keep them a little shorter for the foreseeable future. Probably wouldn't hurt to start earlier too. Let's see, Ghostly. Oh, this is absolutely. Oh, it's absolutely the cliche, but that's my version of pumpkin spice. I'm pretty sure you're not alone there, Ghostly. I'm pretty sure like there is a very broad segment of the population that's their version of pumpkin spice is the dark, brooding, mysterious fantasy boy. So I don't think you're definitely not alone there. You have comrades for sure. Maya, starting from the actual beginning though, it turned out to be a lot more fun and easier to ease in the lore and the rules of the world. Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it's just a complete refresh. As painful as page 1 rewrites are, sometimes you can kind of see the forest more clearly. Moonrunes, I wouldn't be against earlier starts. Yeah, I've been trying to like start early around like 5, but due to various things, I had to do a later start. One, the D&D, this thing I'm prepping here, usually we play Monday nights, so there is a possibility maybe I'll do an early day streams on Monday. Like doing prep for this when the game actually starts. But for like screenwriting streams and stuff later in the week, I'm gonna try to do it earlier, since I know a lot of you all are a few hours ahead. So I do try for that. Sometimes it becomes difficult, but I do try. Life with Lex. I'm off to get ready for bed after reading textbooks. Oof. Well, go get some rest. Yeah, that can't be easy unless you enjoy reading. Unless they're enjoyable textbooks. I might be a nerd, like that kind of nerd, but I mean, I was a philosophy major, so like my textbooks I enjoyed reading, but I can understand like certain textbooks are so dry. I remember reading my honors biology textbook in high school, and it was like the worst. It hurt me. I don't know how anyone can sit there for hours reading those types of textbooks. It just makes me want to melt into a puddle and not think or have to look at that anymore. Ghostly, yum, better than Marines. Yeah, that's broad swath of the population agree with you there too. Maya, I honestly don't think starting from the beginning right off the bat would have been a good idea. Yeah, but you're working through the story. You always have to work through the story. Writing from the middle and coming back to the beginning is going to be a lot of insight, my world and characters. Yeah, it also gives you insight to what's important, like what you need to set up for later. One of my favorite video game writers and directors, Yoko Taro, he writes backwards for that reason. Uh-oh, are they fighting? Oh, they're getting ready to fight. I might have to yell at them. Print, you wait. Leave him alone. Oh, she's in a mood. She's being fussy. She's picking fights. Come on. Hey. Stop. Ugh. Okay. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, I had to separate a fight. Let's see here. Where was I? I was somewhere. Typically, I'm that type of. Oh, Moon Runes. That would be cool. I'm trying to get as much writing as I can since I'm moving in 4 weeks. Oh yeah, happy. That's right. I remember you mentioning that a while ago that you were moving, coming up in October, right? Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah. I feel that. My October's looking a little crazy right now, so I'm trying to like plan my writing because I don't know how much writing's gonna get done in October. My October is is very quickly becoming very, very busy. So we will see. Life with Lex, typically I'm that type of nerd, but I can only handle so much of establishing intercoder reliability for research. Life with Lex, that sounds awful. That just sounds awful to me. While I casually having 4 separate conversations at once. That is true. It does get very segmented sometimes in the chat. That's fine though. Honestly, a talent. I'm glad that's a talent. I don't know. I try. Sometimes you gotta try to keep track of things. If that's a talent, that's good because the rest of my life is usually a mess. So I don't. I'm trying to keep track of 9 things at once. It's not always. Sometimes you have to do that. It might be a skill I've learned from being on film sets because you kind of do have to manage a bunch of nonsense and like different things being asked of you constantly. Doesn't make it any less juggling. Let's see, Ghostly. I want to write more, but my brain feels fuzzy. It was wild when I was going to sleep at 5 this morning. I kept hearing carnival music. Interesting. I didn't realize I was prone to auditory hallucinations, but I'm glad to know. Interesting. I mean, I've had that. I've definitely had auditory hallucinations when I've been sleep deprived. That's a common thing. When I used to in high school, I used to try to like actively sleep deprive myself for hallucinations because my buddy, and that was what we were into at the time, was trying to like induce hallucinatory states or like alternate states of consciousness. And him and I weren't really like drug people, so we weren't like interested in going and doing like LSD or shrooms. So we would go and do these weird things like not sleeping and like almost like religious aesthetic, like esoteric stuff. And you sometimes you can get some visual and auditory hallucinations doing that. I wouldn't recommend it though. It's not good for you. Like it's not a good thing to do to yourself. But I do think that is kind of the first thing that happens when your brain is really tired, or if it's deprived of certain sensory things, it'll start to actually create sensory situations because your brain doesn't like a vacuum. So it'll start to manifest things. You see that in like meditation states. People in like deep meditation states when they've when they're, or like sensory deprivation chambers and things like that, you'll start to your brain will start making stuff up. Moon Runes, yeah. Once I move, I'll be playing catch up on the writing. So sadly, writing will be on the back burner. Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that for sure. Okay, for real bedtime now. You have a great night. Have a great night, Life with Lex. Take care. Get some rest, and we will catch you later. Thank you so much. Thank you. Maya. I've also decided to make the first 3 years of their time in Mornate into 2 books so I can give them plenty of time to bond and grow. It's not a bad idea. I definitely, as long as the characters are interesting, I'm always into slow burn stuff. Always into the slow burn. Ghostly. Carnival music and creepy whispering. I sat there for a minute, really contemplating if it was demons or sleep. I decided not to care and just went to sleep. Skimmerink. Yeah, carnival music would creep me out. I'm not a huge carnival person, or like, I joke about carnies a lot, but I am not the closest I will ever get to enjoying a carnival will probably be the Ren Fair, and I have my own reasons for like enjoying the Ren Fair, because it's definitely like it's kind of my I don't know. I like that vibe. That kind of like there's just it's just kind of like trashy, weird people that are obsessed with like fantasy ideas of medieval life. I don't know. It reminds me a lot of the people I grew up around in high school and my friend group, which was essentially like weird trailer park white trashy people that were like into playing Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of pewter dragons, a lot of things bought from Spencer's and like early Hot Topics. So it's like I don't know. I have a fondness for the Ren Fair, and how weird how weird the Ren Fair is. But for whatever reason, carnivals I find deeply unsettling. I also tend to associate a lot of carnivals with like meth, but that might be where I grew up and where I lived growing up, is because there was always a lot. It was a lot of like weird. There was weird stuff. It was like carnival music and creepy people. is all I remember out of carnivals. And yeah, carnival music is really unsettling sometimes. How are the writers' strike going in progress? They are meeting on Wednesday. They're sitting back down and meeting on Wednesday. So, at least they're talking, or they're going to be talking. What comes from those talks, I don't know. I have no idea how any of that's going to go down anymore. I get updates from my friends who are in the know, but it's I don't know. I'm trying not to be optimistic because I was optimistic when SAG went on strike, and I was optimistic when it looked like the studios were going to come back with something better, and they didn't. They just yelled at us and told us to take the deal. So I'm just not even optimistic anymore. But we'll see. I mean, fingers crossed. If it gets wrapped up in October, November, then that would at this point be ideal. Moonrunes, I miss early Hot Topic. Yeah, early Hot Topic when it was still just like bands. It was like goth stuff and bands. I remember when they started licensing IPs outside of just bands, because it was just music stuff. It was you go in there and get like a Black Sabbath shirt and like the Doors or something like that, and other than that it was like kind of gothy, chains, wallet chains, checkered stuff. But I remember being really like excited because they started doing Yonan Vasquez's stuff. So it was like Invader Zim, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and Squee. And I was really into the Squee comics and the I Feel Sick comic. So I was like, oh, and of course Invader Zim. So I remember that era very specifically of Hot Topic. Now it's really weird when I walk by a Hot Topic. It's not like super anime and stuff. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah. It was always that, and then Spencer's always, because I specifically remember. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Spencer's, because that's kind of like a college freshman dorm store. It's like the kind of shit you would see in like a college person's dorm, like trippy kind of acidy blacklight poster type place. But they always had these pewter dragons and those really like new agey psychedelic fantasy posters that like were just plastered everywhere on all of my friends' walls had that stuff. And so that's why I specifically remember like Spencer's. They also had Monty Python t-shirts, which was interesting. Ghostly, legit. Pandora was freaking out on my phone. I looked at my phone. That was very much not playing music, so that was really an uncomfy moment. The moment. Yeah, that's a horror movie moment, Ghostly. The moment where you like hear weird music and like, what is like Spotify or Pandora playing? And then you look and it's not playing any. That is literally like the shit is haunted moment. So it it absolutely is an unsettling moment. Moonrunes. I feel like Spencer's still has still been the same since I was younger. Yeah, I haven't been into a Spencer's or a mall for that matter in years, or at least in that part of a mall. But I imagine it would be I think the last time I walked by a Spencer's was maybe like 5 years ago or 4 years. Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember seeing, I was like, wait, they still sell the like crystal ball pewter dragon shit? They like still sell it there? You're like they have not updated their stuff, or and like, you know, like college prank jokes. Like half the things in there are like joke prank sex jokes. That's like it. That's like all it was. Like that's still their thing. I guess you will never run out of college freshmen is the answer there. You will never, mostly men, college freshmen, you will just never run out of them. They unfortunately continue to exist and will continue to exist until the fall of Western civilization. Jesus. Ghostly, feel free to use my sleep deprivation carnival music to inspire you. Okay, thank you, Ghostly. Love creepy carnival as a concept, absolutely delicious. There's some good. I mean, the creepy carnival is an old thing. There's Carnival of Souls, which is an old sort of very low budget 1940s. I think it was made in the 40s or the 50s. But it was like one of those early examples of almost like a Blair Witch, like a movie that was shot for almost nothing. That was actually like deeply unsettling and like a deeply disturbing horror movie. Probably not by today's standards by any means, but Carnival of Souls is very good. But yeah, that's kind of always been a thing in movies, you know, because like particularly old abandoned carnivals. Oh, there's one with Dennis Hopper that's actually really, really weird because it's about a mermaid, but you're not sure whether or not this girl is. It's about this girl, this Navy officer on leave, and he's walking around on the pier in LA. So there's like the carnival stuff on the pier, and there's a girl that he meets that he like wants to take out on a date, and she works in like, she's the mermaid in like the big, you know, go in and look at the mermaid, and that's like her job at the carnival. But then it turns out that her like adoptive father either convinced her that she's a mermaid and lied to her, or like told her that story and just kept up with it, that he like found her on a random island. And it's a really weird movie. I think is it called The Last Tide? What is that called? It's not a great movie, but it's conceptually really interesting. And it's also just really young Dennis Hopper. It is a weird, I think it's the Last Tide, maybe. Let's see. I'm a big fan of the Russian circus angle. Absolutely horrifying. Oh my god, a Russian circus? I don't know anything about Russian circuses. I assume they do it 5 times more intense than anybody else, like the Russians tend to do in general, which is what they do. Any sort of it's like when you go to like watch like medieval reenactments and stuff like that, and they're like in Russia, and they're actually just beating the crap out of each other with steel swords, and you're like, what? Why? Yeah, it's just intense. There's some intense little niche things in Russia for sure. My Left 4 Dead 2 has a carnival level. Literally the best mission of the game. Creepy as fuck, and I still get anxious playing it. Yeah. I mean, it's a vibe. It's definitely like it sets a tone. It's a very easy way to set a mood and a tone, and like half of horror is the uncanny, you know, the familiar, but the alien. I mean, that's like why people find like abandoned spaces so creepy. For the same reason, because it's both familiar and alien at the same time. So that's it makes sense. It's a very easy thing. It's a very easy thing to lean on and kind of do. It's like hospitals too. Any place that can trigger high anxiety. They're intense, they, you know, can be loud and obnoxious, but also deeply unsettling and go wrong. Ghostly, I don't either, but I've listened to a short horror story about a Cold War era Russian circus, and it was horrible. I loved it. Oh, that sounds cool. Like, that sounds really cool. I'd be interested in that. Whatever that is. Whatever that might be. Short horror story. If you know the name of it, feel free to drop it, Ghostly. I'd be down to give that a listen. Mr. DeCat. Oh, yes, hello. Sorry, you had popped in. Ooga booga. Yeah, you had popped in. I completely did not see that. I'm sorry. Hello, Mr. DeCat. How are you? How is your night going? Or morning, whatever time zone you're in. How is your time zone? I may write fantasy horror at some point when I get my novel done. Horror's my lifeblood. I definitely like it. I mean, I definitely like I like different types of horror, but I'm very particular about the types of horror. Oh, Ghostly. Oh, it was an episode of the Magnus Archives? Okay. I know the Magnus Archives. Okay. Yep. I haven't listened to that one. I've only listened to their first season and a half, but some of the short stories in there, particularly the ones that start to connect and kind of like inform the others, that to me, that's always like really compelling. That's like perfect podcast writing is like slow build, like slowly making connections back in on the stories. But there's so many episodes of the Magnus Archives that I am definitely not listening to all of them. But I enjoyed it. On a road trip, I listened to the first season and I really enjoyed it. They just released a role-playing game, actually. Mr. Wilight, have you ever watched We Were Soldiers? Man, I watched We Were Soldiers in the theater. And I was, oh God, how old was I? That's the Mel Gibson, is that Korea or is it Vietnam? It's one of them. It's either Korea or Vietnam, if I can't remember. But yes, I don't remember much of it. But I did see that movie. That doesn't like help at all, but that's, yeah, I definitely saw it. It did not leave much of an impression on me as a child, so I don't know, maybe I should revisit it. But I'm not a huge fan of war films. That's why. You have to like make a really good war movie if you want me to like it, because I tend to not like war movies at all. It's very well done. There's some creepy. Yes, yeah. There's definitely some creepy ones. I will always remember the guy. The one Magnus Archive episode that sticks out to me that I always remember, and it was early in their first season, is the shadow asking for a cigarette. Because I've had many late. That's like an adult thing, but I've had many late nights, particularly like out drinking or something like that, and you're like, you either out smoking or trying to bum a cigarette off of somebody when you're like stumbling home or something like that. So I've had experiences like that. That's like a deeply familiar one to me, just because I've spent a lot of, in college and later on. So, and there's something so deeply unsettling. And I kind of like that, like midnight hour, the world's, that sort of magical realism where the world just slowly starts to shift into something strange. It doesn't have to go too much. Everything just gets a little bit uncanny and off. It's probably why I like Haruki Murakami's work so much, because it's almost dreamlike and surreal, but enough grounded in reality that it feels kind of like that. If it feels like you're mildly drunk, like walking home and something just gets odd, that's like, to me, like perfect. That's the kind of stuff I like. Let's see here. All right, I'm slowly reaching plot point 1 in chapter 3 where I can kick up the pace. Awesome. I saw that when I was a kid an age ago. Oh, the We Were Soldiers? Yeah. I watched it so many times over the years without internet. Oh, gotcha. Yep. That makes sense, Maya. That definitely makes sense. I would definitely... there are those movies. I mean, I didn't have cable TV mostly growing up, so I did just watch movies all the time. Whatever movies we had at home on tape. Ghostly, yes, the anglerfish. That's the first. Oh, is that the first episode? Is that really the first episode? Man, yeah, I love that episode. That is, man, they started with a bang. I guess you would, but that's well done. I didn't realize that was the very first episode. I really liked that episode. There was another one about a house burning down that I thought was really good too. My Archie, I have a confession to make. I've never watched a Ghibli movie. Okay. You're not the first person to ever say that. I've known a few people who've never watched. I've known a few people who don't like Ghibli movies. Even though I've tried time and time again to get them to watch them, they just I don't know. They just don't like them. But I mean, you should definitely give it a shot. I'd say if you ever get a chance, you should absolutely watch a Ghibli movie. Particularly any of the ones directed by Miyazaki, because he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest filmmakers to ever live. He's one of the greatest visual storytellers, not just animator, but just visual storytellers. He understands the visual language, and he understands, in my opinion, like animation and cinema the way that people like Spielberg intuitively understands cinema, where it's just kind of like a talent that they have. Scratch that I watch Ponyo. Oh, okay. You watch Ponyo. I mean, I would watch some of the other ones. Ponyo's not my favorite. Ponyo's, it's alright. But I'm not running out recommending Ponyo. Mr. Decat. I saw Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a masterpiece. That's definitely, that movie is an absolute masterpiece. It's up there. I mean, so many of Miyazaki's movies are masterpieces, but like Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro is a beautiful, is an absolute masterclass in filmmaking and non-traditional narrative storytelling. Is very, very, very good. I heard there's a new one. Yeah, Miyazaki. I think they retitled it, but I think it's called The Boy and the Huron now out here, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go see it. I mean, you have to. The Wind Rises also, though, his last movie was also a masterpiece. Let's see, by Whispers in the Voice Howl's Moving Castle. Whispers in the Void Howl's Moving Castle. I need to revisit Howl's Moving Castle. So I was not a fan of Howl's Moving Castle when I first saw it in the theater. And a lot of like people who I like their opinion and trust their opinion on movies, and we tend to have the same opinion on films. They all love it. So I'm kind of the outlier there. So that's one I haven't seen in a while that I need to go back and rewatch, because I think I am I don't know. I don't know if I'm too, yeah. I don't know. I've got to get back. I've got to give it a shot. I should definitely give it a shot, because I just didn't like it when I saw it in the theater. Yeah. It just didn't hit me the way like Kiki, I think Kiki's a masterpiece even. Like, they're all so good. The Wind Rises, which isn't really a kid's movie. It's an adult meditation on art being, like, literally craft being used for war, but, oh no. All right. So let's see here. There was a Ghibli-esque movie I watched a few years ago where it was about a witch, and I honestly thought it was a Ghibli movie, but it wasn't. It was still so fucking good. Found it, Mary and the Witch's Flower. Oh, isn't Mary and the Witch's Flower? Isn't that a Ghibli movie? It's just not a Miyazaki movie? Let's see here. Ghostly, but his book, based off book's so good, book. Gotcha, Ghostly. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, but also, his son Goro did the adaptation of Earthsea, which is like one of my favorite fantasy books, and the Earthsea Ghibli movie is not very good. So sometimes that does not go over well, because those Earthsea books are incredible. Moonrise, I'll never get over that Christian Bale plays Howl. That's right. Christian Bale does play Howl in the dub. That's right. I don't know if I saw the dub. I'm pretty sure I saw it in Japanese. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I saw the dub. I do. Oh. Oh, wait. No. I did not want to do an ad break. Oh, whatever. Okay. Well, there's going to be an ad for everyone who gets hit by the ad. We'll do an ad, and then we'll dive into our sprints after that, because we've already gone on long enough. But for those of you caught by the ad, I'm terribly sorry. I pressed the wrong button. Let's see. Billy Crystal is a damn fire demon. Oh, oh man, Billy Crystal's the little fire dude. Oh no. My Studio, Ponok, and Disney movie. Oh, Billy Crystal is Calcifer. Got it. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't think I saw the dub then. I think I would have remembered Billy Crystal doing the voice, so I don't think I saw the dub. Okay. All right. Well, we should probably get to our writing sprints after we get back, after the break time ends, because I have babbled on long enough. It's been over the usual 30 minutes. You get me started talking about Ghibli movies. Now I feel like I have to. Let's see. Oh, Moon Runes is like, I'm already going. I haven't even started. Yeah, I've already started 130 words so far. But yeah, Moon Runes. Moon Runes. Just putting us all to shame. All right. Okay. All right. Get ready to get the sprints. All right. While I attempt to build an entire world, because the goal was I have to have my the homebrew packet typed up by next week, since everybody is expecting the campaign packets to go out. Let's see here. What Ghibli movie should I start with? Gonna watch one. Oh man, that is Freedom. Sorry about that, Mr. Decat. Good. You are finally free. I think. That's a difficult question. I mean, Princess Mononoke is probably the closest to like fantasy action in terms of that. It's definitely much more than that, but that would probably be the like fantasy action movie. My Neighbor Totoro is gonna be more slice of life drama, but it's still technically a kids movie. But that's also a lot deeper and kind of it's much more than a kids movie. My personal favorite is Poco Rosso, about a flying pig. I love that movie. It reminds me of like old 1940s like air contest, like Blue Angels type stuff, like old flying movies. Almost a little bit throwback to like Howard Hughes type stuff. Kiki is a masterpiece, just about a coming of age story. So it's kind of like whatever you're in the mood for. I write nothing but different kinds of OS fantasy with my writing so far. Yeah, there's a lot. OS, yeah, old school fantasy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Mr. Decat. There is absolutely nothing with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I'm going to actually switch the music over so we can get... I'm going to be playing fantasy music tonight because I'm going to be working on a D&D game. Oh, I meant so fan. I write different kinds. I meant so. Oh, okay. So many different kinds of fantasy with my writing. I see. Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, they're all like varying degrees of fantasy and magical type narratives. So it's just kind of, I don't know. It's hard. They're all good. It's just what you're in the mood for, really. I think if you're looking for more like adult like stuff, like Mononoke, Nazca, Mononoke or The Wind Rises or Poco Rosso are going to be more the adult leaning films. Kiki, Spirited Away is probably his masterpiece. I would argue if you want to watch like what is, in my opinion, his like undeniably greatest film just as a visual filmmaker, it's probably Spirited Away. You could do that one. When someone says Miyazaki, I can't help but think of both Dark Souls, Miyazaki and Ghibli. Miyazaki, I can't imagine what the two of them could come up with in a collab. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but they're both brilliant. So I probably watched Princess One. Never saw that. Oh yeah, you should definitely watch Princess. Mr. Decat, I think you should absolutely watch Princess Mononoke then. Princess Mononoke would be the top. I would say Princess Mononoke. Just watch just do that one. just do Princess Mononoke. That movie is probably about as good as a fantasy movie can be. Howl's Next and the Flying Pig one. Yeah, the Flying Pig one has one of my favorite lines ever, where because it's all about like when fascism comes to Italy, because it's at the before World War II. It's in the 30s, and and he's like running from like the sort of Italian like the Mussolini like Stasi, and he's just like they're just like, why I don't understand why you went away and blah blah blah. And he's like, better to be a pig than a fascist. And I'm just like, I love it. It's one of my favorite lines ever. Anyway. These are all pretty old movies, huh? Oh. I mean, I guess. I wouldn't count them as old. I saw Princess Mononoke in the theater when it came out. So I don't think I would consider that one old. So yeah, I mean yes. They're they are more than they're more than it came out in the 90s. All right. Oh, why are we doing that? Why you gotta do that? Oh, all right. Let me boot up the thing. Ghostly. All right, word's done. Sleep now. Hotel Trivago. Okay, have a good night, Ghostly. Go get some sleep. Yeah. Rest up. Rest up. Definitely try to recover since you've only been pulling an all-nighter. All right. All right. Let's bring up fantasy music. All right, everybody. I think we're gonna go ahead and kick off with our first sprint. Now you're gonna do final push and get it done. Awesome, fantastic. They ain't John Wayne old, but they still old. All right. All right. Peace and joy, friends. You may not be haunted by May you not be haunted by carnival music. I hope we are not either, Ghostly. Have a lovely night. Take care. Get some rest. All right, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get rolling. We'll see you on the other side. Happy writing, everybody. Nope. Oh, where's my command? Oh, there it is. Got it. Derp. All right, everybody. There's our first sprint and thus our first break. Hope it was a productive sprint. Start the down timer. Let me go back to my thing. Ba-ba-ba. All right. I've been reading about the city of, I guess it's Dansk or Danzig, but I'm using that history of that city kind of as a foundation for this village, adding a little bit of stuff on top of it. But interesting. It's always interesting, these old cities that were occupied by like the Teutonic Knights. And then, of course, went down a rabbit hole about paintings about decay from medieval times. Let's see here. Okay, did okay, but not done with the chapter yet. Okay, well, you know, you've there's time to be had to get done with the chapter, but progress is always progress. Exit mark, proper hello time. Hello, exit mark. Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. I believe so, for the most part. It's a Monday, so it's doing what Mondays do, but this isn't too bad. I'm working on a D&D campaign right now, building out a D&D campaign, so I'm trying to keep it light and fun for a Monday. Have to actually get real work done tomorrow. Moon Runes, productive indeed. 754 words, starting off strong. Very nice. Yep, you're knocking it out of the park, getting those words done. Let's see. Yeah, so far everyone seems like they're doing well, which is good. It's like I think I've taken like pretty much a year off doing mostly just running like side games. So like actually prepping a big robust campaign again. The last game I ran for them, I ran to 20th level and it was 3 years. It was close to 3 years. It was the COVID game. We started it right after lockdown. So now I'm actually like trying to build a coherent story. The other one, it was just kind of like a random story that eventually built into a campaign because we kept playing. I wasn't sure if we were gonna keep playing, and we did. So, but let's see here. But yeah, yep. Let's see. Looking up Sebastian Pether. But he does some really interesting stuff. It's primarily like gothic, but clearly like some medieval stuff there. It's pretty cool. I can't remember if I think I was in the art museum in Chicago when I found Hubert Robert, who's a painter, and he specifically was like a traveler. He would like go and live. He kind of would go live in the ruins of like places. So primarily like Rome. I think he was around in like the 1700s, I think. But he would go paint like people that just were living in the ruins of Rome, which is kind of wild to think about back then. You know, just like small little villages popping up within like, you know, the ruins of the Colosseum and all these like all the ancient structures that had not been maintained or but had survived the fall of Rome. And I kind of became fascinated with that. Just the idea of people living in sort of kind of medieval squalor almost, not like total squalor, but like very simple, very country lives, but in the overgrown ruins of one of the world's sort of like biggest empires. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Living within those ruins seems like a hazard, however. Integrity issues, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that... Oh, I mean, back then I don't think anyone was just, like, concerned with structurally sound buildings. Um, at least not since the fall of Rome do I think anyone was really concerned with that. But yes, it does absolutely seem like a hazard, and I'm sure, I'm sure some people were smart about it, but you know, I mean, why? It kind of makes sense though. If you don't have a lot of money, and if you don't have a lot of money, or at least access to resources to be able to like live, if you're a peasant or something like that, you don't hold land, or like a tenement farmer, um, it kind of makes sense like why you would just, you know, be like, this is a free roof. It's a roof over my head, and it's a space to live, and you can kind of like pull out a life. I don't. Yeah, it's kind of. I wonder if I can. Let me see if I can pull this in over here and have it on stream. Yeah, like this is Hubert. This is Robert Hubert. Um, where it's just, yeah, it's just like people kind of like living in the ruins of Rome. Just in these, like, it's cool. I don't know. I'm fascinated by it. I'm just fascinated. I'm sure, hundreds, if not 1,000 years from now, I'm sure it'll be something very similar. The ebb and flow of civilization rises and falls. I'm sure there will be similar instances of this, but in like, it'd be interesting for how long the stone and all this stuff lasted, and still, existing today. It'll be interesting to see how much like industrialized architecture will survive. Like, how long will that last? Because of the ruins of Rome, even before it was being maintained, like, it hung on. It lasted and held up for a long, long time. Mr. Decat, I can't get over how Rome used to hold navy battle in that arena. Yeah, that's nuts. Where they would flood it with water. It's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Floating boats in, just like it's like launching cannons. It's nuts. I want to see that in the next Gladiator movie. I want to see them have naval battles in the Colosseum. Oizel, welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. I hope your evening is going well. We are just on our first break before we start our next sprint, and I am deep diving into a bunch of old paintings for my D&D prep. So now I'm just babbling on about people living in the ruins of Rome, because some of my favorite paintings are from that period. Can't complain. That's good. That is good. I hope everything is good at home. The fam. But yes. Bum, bum, bum. Now I'm thinking, like, because they are making a new Gladiator movie. Now I'm obsessing over the fact that, like, they should absolutely, like, do that. I mean, I know it's not our traditional idea of the Roman Colosseum, but like, just to like do that sort of aerial flyover that Ridley Scott does in Gladiator, but it's just two battleships in the Colosseum instead of like people fighting. Just because it's true. That would be true to history. Always, I love the artwork. Thank you. Yeah, I'm mostly using this as inspiration for the starting city for the new D&D campaign, but yeah, I just fell in love with Hubert Robert. I think I was at the Chicago. I think I was at the Chicago Art Museum. It was either Chicago or the Met. It was one of them, and I came across these and just fell in love with them. Although the two paintings above and below are by Sebastian Pether, and that's new to me. He's a new painter to me. I just stumbled on him on Google, but I really like this like old decaying Gothic church in this cove with like a castle over there. It's just that's some like Ashton Clark Smith, the Temple of Amber kind of stuff. So it definitely has a little bit of that classic D&D vibe to it, a little bit. Like, can you imagine building like a city on the ruins of like Troy? I don't know. like a city completely razed to the ground in some like epic medieval, or that wouldn't even be medieval, Bronze Age war, and then just building an entire new civilization out of it. But it's still kind of like using the infrastructure laid by this much richer and wealthier civilization in decay. I don't know. It's interesting. I like the clash. I think a cat colony village in the ruins of Rome is gravy. A cat colony would be. That's actually that should be like an animated movie, like the Aristocats, but it's about a bunch of cats like that have built an entire society in the ruins of Rome. That's cool. That yeah, I could see that. That should absolutely be an animated movie. Yeah, I'm into that. Get up to Sinead. Let's make that the next Puss in Boots movie. Even though I think that takes place much later. Or I suppose the ruins of ancient Egypt would be more appropriate. That's yeah, I could see that would be like. That would make sense because they were revered, you know. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like just stray animals that weren't respected taking over the ruins of a dead empire and building their own sort of place on top of it. Studio Ghibli, yeah, like the Cat Returns, a little bit like that, where all the cats are voiced by Carrie Ellis, which would be, I'd go see that in a heartbeat. All right. All right, everybody, that is our break. Let me check and make sure we're not going to get waylaid by ads in the middle of trying to be productive. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and launch our next writing sprint. So feel free to work along or just chat along if you're just hanging out, and we'll see you on the other side. Happy writing, everybody, and away we go. Bam. All right, there we go, everybody. Sprint is done. Let's go ahead and start the down timer. And yeah, I just realized how late it is. We might only be able to get 3 sprints done tonight because it is already 9:30 Pacific. That's what I get for starting late and then babbling for 40 minutes. But hopefully it was a productive... Oh my god. I already see that number, Moon Runes. Good lord. Exit mark 400 words. Congratulations. Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, 400 words in 30 minutes is no laughing matter. That's quite a bit. Man, you all just the words flow. Good lord. Yeah, 15, man, just shy of 1,600 words tonight, and finished chapter 10 in the sequel. Already finishing chapter 10. I totally keep going if I didn't have to get up early tomorrow. I know the feeling, Moon Runes. Nothing's worse than when you're, like, in a flow, and you're feeling it, and it's like, and you know that the real world constraints are coming for you. Nothing is worse, and you're being much wiser than I would have been a few years ago, where I would have been like, and I would just write till 4 a.m. and then have to get up in 3 hours. So good on you for having restraint, but congrats. That is a lot of words. Ba, ba, ba. All right, what do I got here? Oh yeah, this looks... Okay, I am gonna go grab a glass of water. Let's see. Big Mr. Cat, pain. I'm in the last scene. No idea how to do it, and I think I need to do some research. Oh yeah, I do. I have a bad habit of doing that, where I will mid scene, mid whatever, drop it and do research. I try to do it all up front, like actually make sure that the research is there, but you never know. Sometimes the story takes you places and then you write yourself and you're like, wait, how does this work? It's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I can see how that can, like, interrupt the flow for sure. Moonrunes, yeah, my fingers are flying and totally in my voice, which I haven't been able to do for a while. I needed this. Yes, that's good. Nothing is better than when, like, you feel in tune. You know, the muse is speaking and working through you, and you know your voice is coming out. Because yeah, that's hard. That's when you lose it, or you're like, you know, you're multitasking and dealing with too much stuff. That's those moments, and that sort of flow state is so precious, and it can be really hard to get to and really hard to maintain. It's why artists are so, you know, like, artists and writers tend to be so, I think, frustrated by the world and being interrupted by the world, you know, having, like, real jobs and stuff. People don't understand how much work it is to, like, get into that state. It's, you know, those moments are precious. You have to protect for those moments. Yes, LOL. Yeah, yep. Yeah, so I think we're probably only going to be able to get to one more sprint tonight, I think, is going to be the plan. Because I did not realize how late it was. So, oof. All right. Hopefully we'll get to 4. We'll do 4 starting on Wednesday. Wednesday through Friday we'll be able to have full sprints. I'll start earlier. Start earlier in the day. Since I know it's like, it's so late for everybody. All right. Okay. Perfect timing. And we're going to run an ad. So if everybody's about to get hit by an ad, go make something to drink, stretch your legs, rehydrate, and relax. And we'll be back in about 2 minutes, I think. We'll go and run all of them here, and then get started on the third sprint after we come back. And I'm gonna go get water. All right. Ba ba ba. Ooh. Okay, what we got? Let's see. I think I'm gonna pace around in a circle for the next 5 minutes to see if I can work out the seed. Yeah, that. Hey, I used to come up with my best ideas when going for walks, so that is not a bad way to go, Mister Decat. Pacing, walking helps me, or taking a shower. Shower's a good one too. Yeah, a lot of times like ideas come in the shower. Um, Moon Rune. Sadly, I have to bounce and get to bed. But I'm excited to keep writing, which I will probably do more tomorrow and the rest of the week if I can. Yes, I hope so. I hope that flow state continues. Moon Runes. Have a lovely, lovely night. Get some rest, recoup, and hopefully tomorrow's workday isn't terrible, and you can get right back to the words and keep feeling those good muse vibes. Oh. 2 minutes left. Okay, we got like a minute left in ads. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, Maroons. Maya, when you just want to fight the big bad guy, he's using the legendary sword. He's using the legendary sword, the Throngler. What? You can't fight the big bad guy when he's using a legendary sword? Is it like a you can't touch me sword? Oh, he throngled. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you don't want to be throngled. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, that is a term I'm not familiar with, but it sounds unpleasant. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Oh, interesting. Is that what you're doing right now, Maya? You're is that for your story, or is that just an allegory for you fighting the fight, the writing fight, or not an allegory, a symbol, symbolism? I guess it could be an allegory too. Oh, gotcha. Oh, now just a D&D story I'm listening to. Oh, nice. That does sound like a thing you would hear at a D&D table. I just don't want to get throttled. We back from ads? Oh, yay. Okay. All right. Everybody should be back from ads. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the ads. Hopefully they weren't insufferable. It's like now I'm trying to I think this next and probably last sprint off to do to come up with gods. All the gods. There's so many gods in D&D's like built-in lore, particularly in like because it pulls from the Forgotten Realms, that like it makes trying to homebrew, you just have to do so many deities just to try to find like some parity that makes sense mechanically to everything that's in D&D. It's too much. It's too much. It's my biggest complaint about Dungeons and Dragons, trying to decouple it to do something different. I mean, there's a million gods in like RuneQuest, but at least they're all kind of like tied and have some. They kind of make some coherent sense. There's also a lot of redundant deities as well in Forgotten Realms, at least in the D&D pantheon that they pull from Forgotten Realms. I haven't started writing it. I'm about to start it. Gotcha. All right, and I think the timer means it's time to start our next sprint. Okay, I'm gonna move a scene back a day and put a big event that kickstarts the plot in Chapter's End instead. Interesting. Probably just one sprint left. I was gonna try to go for 4, but this is gonna put me past 10 o'clock, and I have to get up early tomorrow. So that's probably only gonna have time for about one more sprint. I babbled too much at the beginning. I got too chatty at the beginning of the stream. All right. Maya, hokey smoky. I do love that knock like this. It just cracks me up. Oh, man. Also, every time I hear the term "not like this," I always remember when Cypher is killing everybody aboard the I can't remember the name of the ship. Is it Nostradamus? I can't remember. But in the Matrix, and like when he kills the one, I can't remember. Is it Trig? It's just like, not like this, and then he unplugs her. I don't know. It's what I always remember. When you say Cypher, I think of Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I think Cypher will always be a character from the Matrix for me. It was an iconic film. I was at the perfect age for the Matrix. All right, everybody. I think it is time to get started on this sprint. So hopefully it is a productive one, and the writing and the words flow free and true. All right, happy writing, everybody. See you on the other side. Alrighty, there we go. And that is the end of our third sprint of the night. And yes, probably the last sprint of the night. Hopefully that was a productive sprint for you. My word count? Oh, Examark, you got another 400? Well done. You're doing really well tonight, Examark. You're just banging out words, banging out that chapter. Well done. Oh, nice. 447, Maya. Yay, that's a good start. If that was the first sprint you did, you started writing on, that's a great start to the night. Awesome. Well, that is good. That is. Oh, wait, what is happening? Ah. My computer just fritzed out. What was that? Maya, you finished chapter 2? Well done. So that 447 was able to finish up the chapter. That's good. Oh my god. Stop. Finish and start 3. Fantastic. Well done, Examark. Well done, Maya. Fantastic. Oh, Examark redeemed stretch. Stretch. Ugh. All right. Well, thank you for joining, everybody. Wait, let me go back to Twitch and get all this. Boom. And there we go. Oh, stretch and stretch. Oh. Okay. All right. I think we are going to call it there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and working and writing alongside. Hopefully, if you do keep on writing, it is a productive and lovely evening to keep the words flowing. Of course. Thank you so much for being here, Examark. And yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. It'll be an earlier stream on Wednesday, so probably start around like 4, probably 4 or 5, I think. I'm gonna aim for that for the rest of the week, but it might get later as the week goes on. But yeah, have a lovely night, Examark, as well. Take care, Maya. Spanx for the stream. Of course. Thank you so much for being here, Maya. And I hope the writing continues to go well for y'all. And yeah, we will see you all on the other side.